very good day to you. Welcome to Harman Manyora's channel. My name is Jadel Kabira, joined by Harman Manyora for today's political conversation. Sir, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
Only 2 days to the end of the year.
There we are.
Getting closer and closer.
Yes, and praying God, let's see the new year.
Some people will see this video in 2022. You know, social media, so they will think these guys are recording it in 2022. But it is only 2 days to the end of the year, and we're thankful that you've been with us throughout the road, throughout the journey as we continue this political conversation. Sir, let me speak about what happened in Parliament yesterday. Our members, our honourable members of Parliament, not quite honourable. Would you say that this political amendments bill 2021 is a good thing for coalitions that will happen next year for both Raila and DP Ruto?
I think basically, like I've said before, I've not paid much attention. But I think it's one way of tying the loose ends. Because we've been having coalitions, and I think this law seeks to make it neat, or neater if you wish.
Oh.
Yeah, just to formalize it.
But is it injurious to DP Ruto's side? He doesn't want coalitions that dictate how he'll be able to rule in his UDA party. Would you say it is injurious to him as opposed to Raila's side?
No. It is even good for Ruto and everybody else, actually. But he realizes why it is being brought now. It is being brought to fit in the scheme of Uhuru and Raila. So he realizes, as a law, the provisions are quite okay. Anybody would like them, including himself. He may not for now be talking about coalitions, but he may soon be forced to go that direction. So it's good for even Ruto, but he realizes this is tailor-made for Azimio la Umoja.
Oh.
And if there's any way he can fight it, then he will fight it.
But why not have coalitions as they were before, political parties agreeing as they used to before, instead of making it a law that every other coalition should be able to be governed by?
Basically, you see, it is giving a legal cloth in a much tighter, neater way than before. You see, parties want to remain parties, but they want to benefit from coalitions. So some of the squabbles we have been having are as a result of the coalition agreement not being tight enough. Because it is you, the parties, that enter into an agreement that put that accord or that agreement in place. So if it is weak, then your relationship is going to get into problems like the NASA agreement in terms of sharing a political party. But now this one, it is being done for you, tightened up there for you. You remain ODM, you remain Jubilee, but you are in Azimio in a much tighter, well-explained way. Secondly, the importance of this bill is that now the coalition, like Azimio, will not run the danger of losing seats to UDA like they did, for example, NASA did against Jubilee, where, for example, Ford Kenya has a candidate in a constituency, ANC has, ODM has, and so on and so forth, yet all of them are NASA. So they end up losing, like to Koril in Langata.
Yes.
So now this one will make sure that doesn't happen because they can do joint nominations. And now it's done in such a way, it will still not stand in the way of sharing political parties' funds. You see, it is tight. It is tight in some of the loose ends.
When DP was speaking, I think on Citizen TV, he said that this is something that he does not want. He wants UDA party to remain a national party. We don't have to join. We need the numbers as UDA party. Would you say he should consider this kind of joint nomination for political aspirations?
Nobody will stop him from being a national party. And indeed, he has proved in Parliament, he's a strong party. Perfect. But then, he will have to choose one between two things. A strong party, UDA, or the presidency. If it is the presidency he wants. Because I think the party, strong or otherwise, national or otherwise, basically should translate into victory for the presidency.
So you can't have both?
You can't have both. It's not easy. Because if you insist you want a strong unitary national party that does not permit of smaller parties in a coalition, and you still want the president, then you are you are compromising.
But some would say that it's as if Raila Odinga has been pushed into proposing this kind of law, this kind of amendment bill, because he needs something that he can show to the other parties that need to join him. Would you say this is true, that he has been pushed to coming up with this law so that when he goes to negotiate, he can say
easier,
it's not me,
smarter.
It's there's something that can prove
it's not Raila. There is a law in place. So this Azimio is not Raila. In fact, I'm just a party, a member. I'm coming as ODM as a member, but it's bigger than me. You see, now, and that explains why now Kalonzo Musyoka, I'm not so sure, but Mudavadi, I'm 100% sure, he has changed tune. He's now supporting it because he's saying now people no longer corner others. Coalitions will be things you can enter knowing nobody can shortchange you.
Yeah.
You get it? So this is a game changer.
Is this then the step towards getting into Azimio for One Kenya Alliance?
Of course, of course. Now they have the excuse. Now they have been given the excuse they need to enter Azimio. That now we can work with Raila. Because the law is clear. Now he cannot shortchange us.
No more conmanship.
Now we can enter Azimio, but we are entering, then we discuss who is the flag bearer. Of course they enter knowing it will not be them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Bukungu 2 is coming on the 31st of this month.
Yes.
I'm not going to ask you who's going to be endorsed on that day because it's going to be clear for everyone. How critical would you say that meeting will be for Raila Odinga?
I think that meeting is important for Raila Odinga. First, for psychological reasons. You know, politics is about perception. People have been saying that Raila has lost to Kambani, courtesy of his disagreement with Kalonzo and the same with Mudavadi. Now, if they see Buhungu happening, if it happens in a successful manner, then that will kind of put that thinking to rest. So his opponents will get a little worried. And because, you see, as a presidential candidate, as a team working for Ruto, you give psychological boost to your followers by telling them, we are the people. Ruto is the man. Because Raila is finished. He lost Mudavadi, he lost Western. He lost Ukambani because of losing Kalonzo. Now, Buhungu makes it difficult for you if you are Ruto. Because you can no longer face people now and tell them, sell them the narrative that Raila is a finished person. You know, people also support you if they know you stand a chance.
And do you think the Mulembe Nation is going to listen to something that the person that's going to be endorsed on that day? Do you think they're going to listen to leaders like Kotu Sekjan when they come out and say it is Baba Tosha going forward?
Let's put it this way. You cannot dismiss Atwoli in Luya politics. No.
The likes of Cleopas are dismissing him.
They are trying, but these are neophytes. These are small little people trying to hit at a big tree. Atwoli is an institution. You cannot dismiss him. I mean, that is a fact. He's not a man you'll dismiss in Western.
So when
he's the most outstanding personality today in Western Kenya, in Western Province.
Would you say bigger than Mudavadi?
By far. So he commands respect in a way Mudavadi does not command now. Yet Mudavadi is a natural heir to the throne. He's a natural owner of the region, but he has refused to take it. Because, and you know, power does not like a vacuum. It abhors a vacuum, they say. So this vacuum has been filled by Atwoli. Because Mudavadi is a man. This is his home. He's the head of the home, head of the family. But he has refused to play the role. So other people are now playing. So Atwoli has successfully taken space that should be occupied by Mudavadi.
When you look at Raila Odinga now, getting his endorsements from different parts of the country, is going farther and farther than we expected him to go. Infotrack put him at 33% against Ruto, who is at 32%. Would you say, when you look at these numbers, would you say these numbers are kind of making sense for you as of now?
Making sense, yes. But to say now Raila is ahead of Ruto may not be true. But making sense, yes. They are an indicator of what's now on the ground. And what's on the ground, any honest person who understands this country and the politics of this country will tell you that Raila is gaining ground. That's a fact. Whether that gaining may translate to him today being ahead of Ruto is something I cannot talk about.
Debatable.
It's debatable.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So when you look at his numbers, what would you say, what would you make his attribution to these numbers? Where would you say he got this 33%, and how did he get to where he is right now?
Well, let's not talk about that 3 versus 32. Let's just talk about progress. That Raila has made progress.
Yeah.
Raila has made progress first because he's Raila Odinga. It's only natural.
The magnet usually.
Yeah, he's a magnet, you know.
Yeah.
Usione Simba amenyeshea ukadhani ni paka. So when he was under the cover of BBI, under the restraint and restriction, operating within the beacons of BBI, he couldn't say that he was going to run. You remember that?
Yeah.
Eh? Now he came out of that. And even before declaring officially, it was obvious he was going to run. Things had to change. That's natural. Secondly, which again is just part of the first thing, is the strategy that they are employing with Uhuru. They are employing strategy and then they are beginning to pay dividends. Yeah.
Should Ruto look at these numbers and say, I need to do something more? Should Ruto look at these polls that have been put out there and say there's something I need to do, Raila is coming up strong? Or should he just wait because the ground seemingly, as you said, it's debatable, right? He might be on top.
Ruto may choose to dismiss the post, which is what many people do once they don't favor you. You begin to chokora inside, oh, who did they, all those kinds. You can choose to ignore these posts, these polls and say, well, oh, the lady who did it is Luo, everybody on the list is Luo.
It's on social media.
Yeah, the researcher is Adam Zolo, is Luo, the manager is Luo, everybody is Luo. They are related to... You can choose to look at it that way. And you are perfectly in order. But you can also choose to look at it seriously. And say, this may be an indicator of what's on the ground. And I need to do something. And you proceed to do something. So the choice is this.
When we were looking at the elections in the US, the polls were coming from different media houses. Yes. And different media houses, depending on whether they are Democrats or Conservatives, would come up with their own polls. Yes. Would you say these polls do make elections when different media houses come up with different numbers?
You see, in America, for a long time now, the media sets the agenda. The lobby groups in America decide who becomes America's president. And they use media to do that. So traditionally, media plays a big role in the Western countries in deciding who wins the prime minister position or the president position. And I think a bit of that is beginning to trickle down to these parts of the world. And Ruto is majorly successful this far because of the media narratives, because of the narratives carried by the media. So, yes, it's not something you can say firmly. This is the case. But I think there's an element of that
when
also.
When people look at these numbers, would you say they'd make decisions based on that? Because that is the essence of media houses tweaking the numbers. You
see, we are saying they influence elections in the West. But even then, it's not always so. There was a very serious prediction by everybody. I want to use the word everybody, I think. It was just about everybody. That Hillary Clinton was going to win. Is that right?
Yeah.
But Trump beat her. Badly.
Came out of nowhere and beat
her. The same media dismissed Trump as if you don't even get 30% of the votes. But he barely lost. In this country, media has put sometimes Raila ahead and he has lost, if you wish. So, I choose to see opinion polls for what they are. They are just a gauge like other gauge you may use. It's not a hard and fast thing like I'm saying, you know. Yeah. You can't say because opinion polls are saying Raila is at 33, then he's going to be president because of that. No, I don't think so.
Things do come in.
Because especially in Africa, opinion polls are not very reliable. In my thinking, it's because of language. Some of the questions people are asked in English, the understanding of those questions by people who don't know English well enough may make a difference between whether the polls are correct or not correct.
Yeah. So it depends with how the survey was
done. In Africa, in Kenya, for example, they're just an indicator. Just like when we people talk in the media. We help people and begin to see it's possible Raila could win or, you know, so I don't think we are yet there. Let's not take them
that seriously, not now in Kenya.
No,
at least not.
No. At least for me. for me, I don't quite believe in opinion polls. The role they play in America, I don't think they can play here.
Okay, let's wind the conversation there. This has been probably the last conversation we have in 2021. See you in 2022. I do hope you have yourself a happy new year, sir. Happy new year until we do have these conversations again. Thank you so much. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Don't celebrate too much. We'll be back in 2022.
And let's have the last subscribers for this year, so that we begin a new list of subscribers next year.
Yes. So if you haven't subscribed,
please do.
Please go ahead and subscribe. Tell your friends, tell their friends that we'll be here in 2022. More political conversations in the fullness of time. Have yourself a lovely rest of your day.